What's going on, guys? This is Ryan with the RK Outpost, and even though Alec Baldwin has told us repeatedly, he has claimed time and time again he can't talk about the case. The sheriff said he's not allowed to talk about the case. Well, he continues to use his social media as a platform to talk about the case, to push blame away from himself, sometimes onto others, sometimes onto just safety protocols in general, and of course, onto the gun itself. Well, now he's using his social media once again to try to take some sort of stand and virtue signal, in addition to doing interviews where he's trying to blame the victim and things like this. Well, now he's using his social media platform in order to tell us, well, it's just so unsafe. These guns are just so dangerous. We can only be there if there's cops on set. That's the only way we can guarantee our safety. You can see the headline from New York Post. Alec Baldwin says cops should be on every movie set that uses guns to, quote, monitor safety. And it's just so ironic coming from someone who is so quick to point out anytime a police officer made a single mistake. Well, now Alec Baldwin, who is responsible for the death of Helena Hutchins on the set of Rust, as well as injuring the director Joel Souza when he shot them, is now saying, well, we definitely just need cops on set. That's the only way people can feel safe. You know what? For 30 years, there were no accidents like this in Hollywood. The reason that this happened is due to a series of safety protocol violations, a tremendous level of neglect from multiple people, from the armorer, the inexperienced armorer, to the assistant director who didn't fully check the weapon, to yourself, Alec Baldwin, who didn't check the weapon, and who also is the producer of this film and responsible for things like safety on the set. But let's see what he has to say. Actor Alec Baldwin wrote on social media Monday that a police officer should be present for every movie production that uses guns, fake or otherwise. Do you have any idea the amount of police officers you would need for that? You don't need police officers on set for that. You have people that are assigned to do this. It's called the armor. There are people on set for these reasons. You guys just hired one that was ineffectual. You guys just ignored safety protocols. That is the problem. Baldwin, who shot and killed Hutchins on the set of his western Rust in late October after he was handed a gun he was told was safe, posted the missive on his now private Twitter account early Monday. And we talked about that too. We talked about how this beta bitch protected his Twitter after getting called out for talking about politics only a few days after he caused this tragedy. And we have it right here. This is the tweet from his protected account. Every film/TV set that uses guns, fake or otherwise, should have a police officer on set, hired by the production to specifically monitor weapons safety. That is such a strange request, and what we know is that it's Alec Baldwin trying to push the narrative that guns on set are just inherently unsafe, right? That it's not his fault that this happened. It could have happened to anybody. This kind of thing just happens around Hollywood. No, that's not true. It hasn't happened in 30 years for a reason, because most people follow the safety protocols as they're supposed to. This idea that now we need cops on every single set is kind of insane when you already have people hired to do this job. Typically, that burden falls on trained professional armorers who oversee weapons on set and follow strict safety guidelines, which Rust armorer Hannah Gutierrez-Reed claims she abided by in the moments leading to the on-set tragedy. Highly doubt that. This self-proclaimed gun expert, the daughter of famed Hollywood armorer Thel Reed, went as far as to say the live round that killed Hutchins may have been the result of sabotage, and someone could have intentionally placed the active bullet among the dummy rounds. Yeah, and I don't know how many people are actually buying that. A recently retired NYPD officer who has long worked as a consultant told the Post Baldwin's statements are ridiculous. All the sets I go to, there's an armorer on set. It's his or her job to make sure the guns are in a state of load where no one's going to get hurt. There's a movie TV unit all on the NYPD, but they're just there to keep people away. To even ask them to look at a gun to see if it's in a state of load, they won't do it. And of course it's interesting, isn't it? Isn't it interesting that Alec Baldwin, who has commented so many times about police shootings when he thinks they may have made a mistake, when he thinks they were wrong, like this one, talking about a Huntington Beach police officer shooting a suspect. I wonder how it must feel to wrongfully kill someone. Alec Baldwin, who has been so critical of police officers when they were required to shoot people in the line of duty. And of course, this one need remind you that it wasn't wrongfully killing someone. It was actually justified when they did the investigation. Alec Baldwin deleted this after he is the one that wrongfully killed someone. But it's funny how karma works like that, isn't it, Alec Baldwin? I will say this. There might be a lot of people that say, I bet he was one of those people saying defunded the police. I bet he was one of the people calling for less cops, and now he's saying he wants more. That's not the case. I did some digging. If I could, I would pin him on that in a fucking heartbeat. It's one of the first things I looked at. But what I actually found was the opposite. I found that Alec Baldwin had actually tweeted against defunding the police and basically said that he thinks they just need to be well trained and have good people and things like that. He never mentioned defunding, and he actively spoke out against defunding the police. However, he did speak out about police violence and things like that. So I did my due diligence. I'm not going to claim that because I know there's people that will. But Alec Baldwin has been someone who's been incredibly critical of police officers, whether they were justified or not in these shootings. Yet now he's saying we need them on set to guarantee safety. I think it's quite obvious and quite clear what Alec Baldwin is doing. He is trying to push the blame away from himself. He is trying to tell everyone that this is just inherently dangerous, guys. I don't know, she was my friend. I didn't mean to do it. You should stop victimizing me and asking me questions. I can't talk about the case. Yet I'm going to take every single opportunity to retweet articles blaming the assistant director and not myself. I'm going to speak out about what we need to do on the set of these movies because it's just too dangerous. Alec Baldwin is very clear what he's doing. It's obvious. That's why he went protected on Twitter, so people wouldn't call him out. Instagram's a much more manageable platform for him to be able to put out all of his bullshit, which is exactly what he did. We can see that he actually screenshotted his own tweet to put it out right there on Instagram, where it can't be retweeted and quote tweeted and things like that and piled on, because that's not what he wants. He wants to live in his safe space right now, and he wants to set this entire narrative from beginning to end. Well, we've been following it from the beginning. I've said multiple times, I think there's a lot of blame to go around, from the armorer to the assistant director to everyone on set that knew they weren't following safety protocols, all the way down to Alec Baldwin himself as a producer and the person with the gun in his hand. But that doesn't mean that Alec Baldwin is absolved of anything by this. But he continues to try to push this narrative. We're going to continue to call him out when he does. Let me know your thoughts about this entire situation, about his idea that maybe we need a cop on set at all times for weapon safety when you already have someone hired to do that. Let me know in the comments below. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later. Thanks for watching, everyone, and a huge shout out to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram? Check out the description below. You'll find links to my P.O. box and my Patreon as well. And I'll talk to you guys later.